3 or 4 in there because there's a couple of different sizes. Little ones that were this spring kid that are missing.
You're still missing 2 more?
Well, did you find the third one? The little boy?
No.
Didn't find him, so 3 missing?
See, that's something they could jump the fence with in their mouth, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Without any problem. And that sucks.
If you follow us on Instagram, you would know that over the last few weeks, we've been battling a mountain lion problem in our neck of the woods. Our neighbors and good friends Mark and Ola have lost 12 of their 20 goats to a 70-pound female mountain lion. The end result is the proper authorities were involved, and this 70-pound mountain lion will no longer be a threat to us in this area. It's just a reminder of what's going on around us. Basically 2 options. So 15 feet puts us in line with the window. It's going to go like this. It's going to be the same pitch as the roof. It's going to be a foot high right here. Something like that, but it's going to go 15 feet out. Okay? 15 feet out means that it stops right here. So once the concrete's poured, I'm going to try and pour the concrete this week. That's option 1. Option 2 is 20 footers, which means it's going to go a little bit back of that. It's going to go almost over the window.
I say 20.
Those cost $40-something per board.
There?
Huh?
Are we leaving the wood there?
The firewood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
And parking.
I don't know about parking. Put the Ranger underneath it. If I go 20 foot, though, you could almost park your car underneath
That's what I thought.
That means there's going to be a post in the ground right here on the edge, straight out from this. I'll get a steel post because somebody's going to run into it. I'm not doing wood. And it's going to be about 10 feet off the ground, probably, or even higher. And there's a possibility that the roof is going to end like right there, maybe even back a little bit. So it might look a tiny bit funny because it's not going to go past the window. 20 feet does not go past the window.
I think it'll look funny halfway through, but so it's going to be pitched.
It's going to be the exact same. It's going to be the exact same pitch as the roof.
And how does it stop right here? You attach
It's
it
going to be like the end of the house.
You attach it to the shop.
It's attached to the shop on that side, and then it's going to be sitting on a beam that goes all the way across.
Can you take it to the edge of this window? I was thinking of aesthetics.
I don't think it's long enough. A 20 footer is the only ones I can get. The primary goal for this week was to get the awning built over the top of the firewood, and then possibly get back to the off-grid cabin while I'm waiting for the roofing underlayment to show up for the shop. I haven't been up to the cabin in a couple of weeks, but I needed to get my 10-inch earthquake auger that I had up there so I can set the post that will support the beam for the porch that will cover the firewood. I decided to do it out of steel instead of wood. What do you think? It's gonna look really weird. That steep. What if we lower it down right to the concrete?
Can you keep it there, but do it not so?
So that's the issue. Is it gonna look weird if you have two separate pitches, two separate angles?
Maybe you could drop the edge right on this wall, all the way across.
Do what?
This end will be on this wall, all the way across. You won't have to build a wall.
No, I'll just do some pressure treated lumber, which I already have, around the edge, and it'll sit right on top of that.
I mean, it's just going to look different because I know what the exact pitch match look like.
I mean,
But it's not
again,
like
I don't
it's
think
gonna
it's
drive
enough
you
to, it's not flat enough to really throw your eye off, I don't think. All right, thank you. Again, if you followed us on Instagram, you would know that these two pictures represent the two different angles that Cedar and I have been debating. We threw these pictures up on Instagram, put it to a vote, and the angle that matches the roof line was the overwhelming favorite.
Drive the same roads every day. We both get there our own way. Thistle and an apple tree. How different two souls can be. But we both grow from the same sorrow. If we both know we'll be together tomorrow, I can be like a tree in the wind. Same old roots, but I can bend, turning to understand and sway together. Now it's almost like a dance, the rendering of stubbornness, and it just cuts us deeper through the longer I'm away from you. Yeah, we fight good, we make love better if we both know we'll be together forever. I can be like the tree in the wind, same old roots, but I can bend, learning to understand and sway together. together forever. We can be like the trees in the wind, same old roots, but we can bend, learning to understand and sway together. We can be like the trees in the wind, same old roots, but we can bend, learning to understand and sway together. Till the end.
When Cedar and I were first married, we lived in a 600 square foot house. It was more or less a guest house, and the owners happened to live next door to us. Sometime before Cedar and I got married, I saved up and bought a pair of Doc Marten boots that I'd wanted for quite some time. These boots were expensive in relation to how much money I made at the time, and it took me quite a while to save up and buy them, and I wore these boots every day. One particular day, a group of us went out to the river to have a little bit of fun, and at some point I jumped into that river with those Doc Marten boots on. From that point on, those boots had a smell to them that I could not get rid of. While I was dating Cedar, I would show up at her house. I would take my boots off and set them by the front door. And at some point during that evening, Cedar's mom would kindly set those boots outside of the front door on the front porch because, again, the smell just would not go away. Shortly after Cedar and I got married, I bit the bullet and I threw my favorite Doc Marten boots away into the trash can that I shared with my neighbor, who I rented the house from. The very next Sunday, while Cedar and I were sitting in church, we happened to sit next to that neighbor as we were friends with them, and I just so happened to look down at the shoes that he was wearing, and lo and behold, he's wearing my pair of Doc Marten boots. I gave my wife an elbow. She looked down and saw what I saw. We both looked at each other and smiled, and after church services were done, I asked my friend about his new boots. He told me he found them in the trash can, and he couldn't believe somebody would throw away such a nice pair of boots. If I recall correctly, I didn't say anything else to him about those boots. I figured I would let him learn the hard way why they were in the trash can. But my point in telling this story is Cedar and I have been through a lot in the nearly 24 years that we've been together. We lived in that little guest house for about 6 months, and then we bought our first house. I had to borrow $1,000 from my dad for the down payment on that house. And our interest rate on $90,000 was 7.5%. At some point while signing the mortgage papers, the mortgage banker showed me how much I would end up paying for that $90,000 house if I waited the 30 years to pay it off. After seeing that inflated number, I decided I would not wait 30 years to pay off a home. We ended up selling that house about a year later. We then moved out to what was a very rural setting into Queen Creek, Arizona, and we had our first horse property. Now let me just point out real quickly that earlier in the video I showed myself making a bunch of baskets. Now what I'm showing here is the actual number of times that it took for me to make those few baskets. Just a friendly reminder that not everything you see on the internet may in fact be what you think it is. We have had this storage unit right here for probably 3.5 years.
Can't be that long.
$70 a month. That's easily 2 more broke down trucks and another Harley. But today is the magical day that we're taking everything back to put in the shop.
Are you ready?
Let's see what you got.
Are you sure?
Whoa.
It's gonna be a good day.
Cedar and I lived in that house out in Queen Creek for about 2 years. We moved again. We moved to southern Utah for a short period of time, and then we moved back to Gilbert, Arizona. We lived in Gilbert, Arizona for about 4 years before we moved up to Snowflake, Arizona. The long story short is we've moved way too many times. Something like 18 times. Getting all of the stuff out of the storage unit that we've hauled around over these 18 different moves for the final time to our shop here at Red Poppy Ranch may seem like nothing special to you, but to me, this is monumental. First and foremost, the fact that my wife is still by my side is above and beyond a miracle. There is no woman on the planet that can tolerate my mood swings, can tolerate my sporadic behavior, my crazy ideas, and perfectly balance me out in such a way where I come across halfway normal. I tell you this about my lovely wife because today I spent the day in the waiting room of the nearby surgery center while my wife spent a good portion of the day in surgery. But it was painful for me to sit there knowing that things were out of my control. And that while odds were in my favor, the idea that something bad could happen to my wife and that I would be on my own was just unthinkable. Everything good I have in my life is the direct result of being blessed with Cedar. While our life together with our kids has been nothing but boring, I couldn't imagine doing it alone. This coming Sunday's video will hopefully be a conclusion of me building the structural steel supports for the awning over the firewood. But getting that finished up will all be contingent upon how good Cedar feels. She's going to need mine and the kids' help over the next few weeks. I hope to get to installing the underlayment on the roof as well.
Did it!
23 years of accumulation? Is that what that is?
Yes. Get my clothes on. 23 years.
So the plan today was to get the beam installed for the firewood, what do we call that? Porch, covered awning, whatever. But we realized it was the last day of the month. Cedar's been asking me for quite a while to help her go clean out the storage unit, so we don't have to pay that $70 a month anymore. So we got that taken care of. But she's not going to be able to lift anything for a few weeks, if not a month or so, because of a surgery she's going to have tomorrow. So rather than diving back into working on that awning, our roofing underlayment just showed up. And if you can see all these bugs over our shoulders, it's got to be 82 or 83 degrees. Whenever it gets this warm, the box elder bugs find typically the south facing wall, whatever wall is getting the most sunlight, and they hang out there. But my point is, it's so warm that I want to install the Grace Ultra underlayment. It's a peel and stick type of underlayment. And so I'm going to stop on the awning. I get to take Cedar tomorrow to her appointment. And then her life.
You're on your own for a few weeks.
Yeah, our life is going to be a little bit complicated for a little bit, but anyway, so I'm going to start doing the underlayment right in the middle of a project. Switch over to another project.